The fjord was unnaturally still. Not the postcard-perfect calm of tour brochures, but a heavy, breathless quiet, the kind that made the birds stop singing, the air feel thick, and the water look like oil. Dr. Elin Holt stood at the edge of the granite bluff, her boots pressed into cold lichen and ice-rimmed moss, eyes fixed on the black water 200 meters below. She could feel it. She wasn't sure what it was, only that it was wrong. "There's no wind," muttered Yuar behind her, rubbing his gloved hands together. "There's always wind here." Elin nodded, not taking her eyes off the fjord. Not today. The geophones had started picking up anomalies 4 days ago, rhythmic pulses in the bedrock beneath the fjord, low-frequency bursts that didn't fit any tectonic, seismic, or mechanical source. At first, she thought it was equipment malfunction. Then she checked the backups. They were identical. So she flew in. Norway's Svalek Institute of Geophysical Studies had granted her emergency clearance. The local municipality was told the equipment was for glacial monitoring. That was technically true. But Elin knew better. This wasn't ice. This was something older. The expedition team was small. Elin Holt, geophysicist with a background in seismic modeling and subsurface radar imaging. Yuar Eriksson, local technician and mountaineer. Liv Berg, cryptolinguist on loan from a NATO think tank. Dr. Felix Mason, a British-American data analyst specializing in deep signal resolution. They'd been granted use of an old weather station half a kilometer up a slope, a rusting prefab module bolted into stone back in the 70s. Inside, the command table was littered with equipment, antenna coils, data packets, thermal blankets, an unopened bottle of whiskey someone had optimistically packed. "Time delays shortening," said Felix, eyes locked on his laptop screen. "The pulses are moving closer together." "How much closer?" Elin asked. 15.7 seconds between each one, down from 32 yesterday. Liv leaned in. "Like a heartbeat accelerating." Felix nodded grimly. "Or a countdown." No one spoke. Outside, the fjord remained still. That night, Elin dreamed of stone breathing. Not metaphorically, but literally. Giant blocks of granite inhaling and exhaling. Not air, but sound. Vibrations in a rhythm older than any life on Earth. She woke in sweat. The power had gone out. The only light came from the emergency lantern glowing red on the far wall. Yuar's bunk was empty. She pulled on her boots and stepped outside into the freezing dark. He was standing on the ridge, barefoot, shirtless, eyes wide. "Elin," he whispered. The pulses were now 12 seconds apart. And they had changed. Not in volume or frequency, but in structure. Felix was the first to notice. He plotted the waveforms as audio and slowed them down by a factor of 10,000. Liv was the second to see it. She turned the waveform into a visual graph and laid it against ancient runic patterns recorded in Lapland's stone tablets. They matched. Not precisely, but close enough to shatter Elin's scientific detachment. "These aren't just sounds," Liv said. "They're linguistic shapes. Structural patterns for symbolic meaning. Not written language, but pre-language. Almost like intention." "You mean it's intelligent?" Elin asked. Liv hesitated. "I think it's trying to say something. Or remind us of something." They set up the subsurface radar array at the ridge above the fjord, firing narrow beam pulses downward in sync with the signals. The deeper they probed, the stranger the results. At 2.6 kilometers beneath the fjord floor, void. Not rock, not sediment, just nothing. Felix's eyes widened as he examined the 3D scans. There's a geometric cavity down there. Perfectly circular. No collapse patterns. No stress lines. It shouldn't exist. Liv crossed her arms. Artificial? No known process can form a hollow this large and keep it intact over geologic time. Elin stared at the screen. How old? Can't tell, Felix replied, but the ice layers above it, they haven't shifted in 20,000 years. Yuar, now recovering but pale, spoke for the first time that day. It's older than memory. They all turned. He didn't elaborate. Later, Elin sat alone, headphones over her ears, listening to the slowed-down pulse. It wasn't just vibration anymore. It was shaping thought. The longer she listened, the more her own thoughts bent toward rhythm. The pulses weren't just data. They were messages. But sent in mind structure, not language. Designed to be felt, not heard. A vibration that wasn't asking for interpretation. It was recalling something you already knew, or maybe had forgotten. She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she walked alone to the edge of the bluff. No wind, no waves, only silence. Then she heard it. That evening, the team voted to send down a remote probe into the cavity. They had one deep-rated drone, a modified survey model nicknamed Ymir, capable of 4,000 meters, reinforced with carbon titanium plates and equipped with full sonar, light array, and radar mapping. Felix handled the uplink. Yor launched the drop tether. Elin watched the monitors as Ymir sank beneath the ice shelf, then into the liquid black below. At 2,600 meters, it reached the anomaly. And everything went quiet. No feed, no ping, no error message, just gone. Felix checked diagnostics. It's like the tether was severed digitally, not physically. Then the pulse changed again, not louder, deeper. Now it wasn't just a vibration in the earth, it was in them. Elin went outside to breathe, but when she looked up, the stars were wrong, not missing, not dim, just shifted, as if the sky itself had tilted slightly. As if the place she was standing no longer fully matched the coordinates she believed it had, as if the world had moved just enough to matter. She closed her eyes, and the pulse echoed again, not in her ears but in her bones. A message, just one, 4 words. You were meant to remember.